Hey, good morning and happy Sunday. We're back. We were gone last week, but we're back. And
Yeah.
I'm your host, Tony Twist, joined by my lovely co-host. Oh, she's on this side, Miss Mo. And
Hi.
and always exciting and always happy to bring on the man from the Call Up podcast, Kenny, or as he likes to be known now as Conversations with Kenny, because he gets into some deep conversations.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
I try.
What's good, everybody? What's the weather like in New York?
44 and cloudy.
Oh, okay.
I
So
just
you're
saw it
not.
on my computer screen, so that's the only reason why.
No,
So
I went
we're like.
outside. It was brick. Well, for me
Yeah, it
coming,
was
you
no, yeah, no, it was
know.
cold. Yeah.
So we're about the same. We just had a huge snowstorm roll through, and this shit was cold as hell.
hmm
And now we got another snowstorm rolling in next week. So
Is your weather always erratic like that? Because I feel like you keep telling me like about snowstorms.
Yeah.
it's been a pretty chilly, snowy winter so far. So for
I keep
us,
forgetting we're in winter. It feels like we're like spring right now. Like normally we get screwed over in February with like the snowstorms, and like I'm
hmm
usually plowing by now. But it snowed one time here. And that was
Yeah,
it.
and it was a light snow that we got too. It wasn't
Yeah.
like
it was
a
a
heavy.
dusting.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, I ain't
Gotcha,
complaining.
gotcha.
Yeah,
Well,
me either.
let's kick this fucking show off. So last night, Elimination Chamber.
hmm
Now, Elimination Chamber, in my opinion, was probably one of the better shows that they've put on in a while. Um, but Kenny, you're the guest today. I want to hear your thoughts on Elimination Chamber, and are you happy with the way they wrapped up? Let's just start from the top. Are you happy with the way they wrapped up and the direction they're going with Sammy and the Bloodline, KO, all that? What are you thinking, man? How you feeling about
I don't think the story's over.
that?
This is gonna be like the never ending story until Roman is not in WWE when he finally takes like a break. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like this story has so many layers to it. It's like an onion. You're gonna just keep peeling and peeling until there's no more. You know what I mean? As far as like Elimination Chamber is concerned, like when it's always tells that road to WrestleMania, you know what I mean? Like you always get that middle pay-per-view that makes no sense at all as to like why we have this middle pay-per-view. It's either you're trying to get Brock into the main event picture or you're trying to get Roman into the main event picture. And like this time around, Elimination Chamber was placed in the middle of Rumble and WrestleMania, and they told a story that's going to lead into more matches going into WrestleMania. So I thought it was great. You know what I mean? They didn't give us like Great Balls of Fire or Roadblock to like make us question why we watch WWE at times, you know?
Well, there's certain matches where you're like, oh fuck, I don't really want to see this. Where they're gonna go with it, but then they make
Right.
them shorter, make them longer. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Mo is her ex Edge. Her man. He's still hanging on, but I'm glad that match was not that long because where the fuck are they going with this? Because I'm really tired of seeing Edge. I don't want to see Edge anymore, and I definitely don't want to see Beth fucking Phoenix. I just don't. I'm just not fans. I don't know where they need to end this shit with Judgment Day. I don't even know, but I thought it was a solid show. I think the men's Elimination Chamber match was better than the women's.
I agree.
Yeah.
That match was fucking phenomenal. Now, do we think Montez Ford is legitimately hurt?
No. That was all an act to get Logan Paul in there to attack Seth Rollins. Obviously to set up a match for WrestleMania, which I hate. The simple fact that once again, Seth Rollins is not in a main event spot for WrestleMania.
Right. Why do you hate that?
Because like Seth Rollins, throughout these whole entire years that he's been with the company, he's never main evented a WrestleMania. Like him winning the title at Mania when he cashed in, I don't count that as him main eventing because he wasn't on the marquee.
He wasn't.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he wasn't advertised.
He was supposed to face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 35, and he was supposed to be the main event, and then they bumped it to put the triple threat match for the women's title. So his wife took his spot for the main event at that WrestleMania, and he ended up opening the show. You know what I mean? So it's like, when is his time gonna actually happen where we get to see, Seth Rollins, in the main event?
Is that strategic though? Do you think he's happy with that role? Because I think
don't
he
think
might
so.
be. I think he might be happy with that role, man. To be honest with you,
I don't know.
I personally feel like he's fine with it because we've seen enough of Seth Rollins, and it's like, what more do we need him to do? Like, he's like so interesting on his own that I actually like him in like this middle role, where it's like he doesn't have to be in a title picture, he doesn't have to steal the entire show, but he is one of the most other interesting things on the show. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like he had his moment plenty of times, and he's really good with definitely like uplifting new talent and elevating them. And I like that, like that is his new role, because regardless that he is helping to elevate other talents, it's still not like lowering his value. Like, I feel like everyone still looks at Seth Rollins as being that guy, regardless if he has a belt on or not. And I feel like that goes to show you how impressive of a wrestler that he is. Because there's some people like Charlotte where they don't have any value unless they have the belt on them. Do you know how hard it is to be that interesting and still be like the talk of the night still without a belt?
right?
You know what I mean? Like, that goes to show you how hard he works in the ring, but how engaging his character work is.
So
That's just my
now,
personal take.
so now, would he be kind of like the parallel version of Bryan Danielson, and kind of what Bryan Danielson is doing for AEW? Because how you feel, Kenny, I feel about Bryan Danielson. I think he's the best in the world. He should hold the fucking belt, but he's elevating talent over in AEW.
Right.
And we know how great he is. And we know how great Seth is. But maybe this is the role that they've taken on and that they're okay with.
Right.
They're not necessarily becoming a jobber or a stepping stone, but they're really elevating talent. You know what I'm saying?
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with elevating talent. It's great because it's just showing you that, like, you're there to help the company. And Seth Rollins has always batted for WWE. He's gotten into freaking Twitter fights with other talent about WWE. You know what I mean? And he doesn't hold his tongue when it comes to the company. And and I don't really think that he needs a title, at this moment. But damn, like, can we just get one time, that we could, like, Seth Rollins can main event WrestleMania, just one?
Maybe it'll be some long storytelling, because I think the route that we're going is that Cody's going to probably be the guy to take out Roman at Mania. I personally would love to see a title exchange, or not title exchange, some title matches with Cody, with Seth, because they had that feud kind of ended, but then he got hurt. But these guys put on some fucking great matches. I mean, they were putting on phenomenal matches, and if there's a title involved, I think it could be that much better, in my opinion. I mean, there's a lot of different feuds they could run with once someone else is champion. We've seen Roman run through everybody, right? Roman hasn't run through Cody. He's one guy that he hasn't run through. So Cody, they're kind of positioning him. Is he going to be the guy to dethrone Roman? I hope so, because the bloodline, while it's great, I like that everything is kind of unfolding. So maybe they're going to push towards maybe Sammy and KO, maybe going for the tag team titles from the Usos. Maybe they mix it up and do a three-way dance, and maybe it's for each title, like the Raw belts, the SmackDown tag team belts. Yeah, you got maybe some triple threat tag teams. That could make things interesting. So I think the Sammy Roman thing, I think, is done. And I think that's a good segue, is to do tag teams, because Sammy fucking speared, what's his name? I always get them mixed up. Jay and Jimmy. It would have been Jimmy or Jay.
Jay.
So he speared Jay, who's his boy, right? And Roman hands Jay the chair, fucking take out Sammy, doesn't want to do it. And then Sammy inadvertently, fucking spears him. And then, now he's going to be pissed at Sammy, even though he was interfering in the match. You know how all that drama goes. So I think we're going to be seeing some tag team title exchanges, hopefully. That's kind of where they're going with it. But they could have made a choice, and they could have put the belt on Sammy last night. That fucking place would have exploded.
Oh,
I mean, the
for
roof
sure.
might have just fucking came off, right? And then Monday Night Raw could have been something just crazy, but they didn't go that route because I don't think they feel Sammy might be the guy to really carry the company. Should he really be the guy to dethrone Roman after 900 fucking days? And
Right.
I guess WWE doesn't feel that way, and they're gonna make Cody Rhodes the face. But could they fucking swerve us and do something else? I don't know. What do you guys think on that?
Man, I was actually hoping that Sammy would get it. We kind of had a little discussion on like our podcast about the whole Cody and Sammy interaction because one thing about Cody is that he never got like the big belt. Like he's known for just like the stuff that he did in the mid cards, and obviously when he went to AEW, he still couldn't like pull it off there. So what we were thinking at first was that they were gonna probably give it to Sammy, but then make it that whole interaction is that he put the battery in the back of Sammy because he knows that he couldn't get the belt on his own. So he wants to see like listen, we haven't like had like a beast to slay since Roman. And Roman, it's not Roman, since Brock, my bad. Since Brock. Now Roman is that new beast that everyone needs to slay. So I felt like it could have been a beautiful thing if they had set it up that way. That the whole reason why Cody put that battery in his back was because like one of us has to slay the beast. And I definitely haven't done it on my own, but like at least maybe you can. But now, I mean, it's going to be an even more beautiful thing keeping that in mind if Cody does get it, which I think he is going to be the one to dethrone Roman at WrestleMania. But it kind of makes me sad because I do feel like there was a lot to play with Sammy, and the question is, why is he not good enough to be championship material? Why prolong this?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Kenny?
I think it's just the way the company is trying to go nowadays. You know what I mean? I've said it for like maybe like a month or so that like WWE was gonna like back themselves into a corner where they was gonna like eventually have to give Sami Zayn some type of title shot. Like the way Sammy was with the bloodline and this whole story, it was just like everyone was kind of anticipating when he was going to get kicked out and how this was going to happen. You know what I mean? And then they swerved everybody because everybody had their speculations of what was going to happen. You know what I mean? Will we get KO and Sammy versus the Usos for the tag titles? And then all of a sudden Jay becomes like the white knight to Sammy and like prevents him from getting, or doesn't want to hit him for whatever reason. We've seen it twice so far in 2 different pay-per-views. And it's just like, now we can possibly see Sami Zayn once again go after the title at WrestleMania. And this is perfect because WWE has built up Roman Reigns so much into this Brock role, like Mo said, where like you don't want to have somebody like Cody Rhodes come in and just beat him clean 1, 2, 3. You want it to be where if Roman decides he loses and he takes time off, he can come back and say like, you never pinned me. And the best way is by having Sami Zayn there. So now imagine you have Sami Zayn in this. He gets hit with the crossroads. He gets hit with a Superman punch into a crossroads. Cody somehow hits Roman out of the ring, or and pins Sammy 1, 2, 3. That still makes Roman look strong. You can still have another match between Roman and Cody, at another pay-per-view.
But does Roman really need to look strong? He's been fucking champ for 900 days.
Yes.
But he's been champ for 900 days. I think if it was a different situation, I totally get what you're saying. But I think by adding Sammy into the mix at WrestleMania, it changes the dynamic of it. But then it takes good babyface heat away from Cody because right now, fucking Sammy's the fucking be all end all baby faces. I mean, this guy, he's at the top, but I think WWE's already made their choice. They don't want Sammy to be champ. I think by having a triple threat, I think you fuck up Cody's momentum, right? I don't know. I would rather just see Sammy and KO. That friction Like, are they friends? Are they going to be friends?
Right.
Maybe they're tag teaming just to take the fucking belts away from the Usos. I don't know. You got to get Sammy out of the main event picture. I think that culminated last night, in my opinion. I could be wrong.
If you leave them in a triple threat match, this is going to lead into more stories down the road, because now you can still have Sammy versus Cody. You can still have
But who's the heel then? Who's the heel? You're going to make Cody the heel?
No, you don't have to. The thing about it is, you don't need to have. You don't need. See, the thing about it is that we paint this picture of that you need to have a heel and a face.
But the crowd is going to make him a heel.
No, it's not.
In this process.
No, they're not. Unless he does something wrong. Unless he does something to make himself a heel, the crowd is just going to sit there and love both guys and cheer for them.
I mean, they do that in AEW all the time.
Yeah.
But the fan base is way different there. The fan base is way different. I don't agree with that. I think that's going to take them in the wrong direction, because you know how fans are. They're going to choose. They're going to choose somebody, and they're going to choose Sammy because Sammy's so fucking over right now. And I think it detracts from Cody's run, right? Like, he's saying, you know, you have your story. This is my story. My story's not finished. He's been on a journey a lot longer than Sammy has.
Right.
It's only right that they put the belt on Cody, but I think it takes something away if he ends up pinning fucking Sammy. Like,
if you put Sammy versus Cody in a match, you know how that match is going to end? It's going to end with Cody Rhodes winning, right? And the same, bless you.
Yeah, bless you. Are you sneezing? Are you coughing?
I'm coughing. Thank you, though.
It's going to end the same exact way that Cody and Dusty ended on in AEW. Cody's going to help him up. They're going to hug each other, and Sammy's going to walk away. And the crowd is going to love it. No one's gonna boo. No one's gonna boo. Everyone's gonna love it.
Yeah.
They still both walk away as baby faces, and then that's it.
Nah,
it's possible. I think it's
I don't like that
right now.
I don't like it. I don't like it. I fucking hate it. So if you're gonna do that and you're gonna do the whole hugging and fucking broing out and shit, have Sammy turn heel.
Why?
Turn around, kick him in the fucking balls. KO comes out and they beat the shit out of Cody, because then you're gonna put heat. I get what you're saying, but I don't like that.
I love Sammy too much to even like. It's not gonna feel pure. It's not.
Sammy's too old. First of all, we already had heel Sammy already. The conspiracy heel Sammy, we already had that already, and not too many people loved it. You know,
but this would be different because him and KO could just be ass kickers. But like, they don't have to go into a weird kind of thing with it. They could just be badasses and just ass kickers and go around and just, because KO, you can't make KO a baby face. He's over, yes, but he's better as a fucking ass kicker and just.
May I add something? Wouldn't that like ruin Sammy's momentum as well? Because now he looks like a follower at all times. Like, we love him now because he's standing up for himself. You know what I mean? Like, people are resonating with that. If he goes right back to Kevin Owens and has to be a heel, it's like, oh, that's why you'll never get the fucking belt, because you're a follower. Like, now we have, like, we don't see any faith or any value in you. So maybe down the line, you could probably try that. But right now, I feel like they need to strike while the iron's hot. And I do think they need to try to give it to him now, because it's going to be kind of like a Kofi situation where this is going to be the only time we're going to ever see this man with gold. It's either now or never. By knowing how this company rolls, because they're all about like marketing and all that stuff like that, Cody has the look. Like, Cody has the look. Cody has the background. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to be the new John Cena. But I just feel like if you want a good WrestleMania moment, you know, just so it's memorable and it stays in our hearts, just give it to Sammy. I feel like, personally, I understand Cody has his momentum going, but he could still afford to wait till like SummerSlam and no one's going to be mad, because you were missing for how many months? And we still praised you. We still praised you for the way you went out during that Seth Rollins match. And, you know, he kind of got handed the Royal Rumble win, you know. And I feel like a lot of people are just, like, expecting that he's going to just get the belt.
Yeah, it's too many expectations from him. Like, there's nothing where you go and say to yourself, you know what? he may not win.
Yes.
It's since he's come to the company, it's always been he's gonna win.
Yes.
Oh, who's the mystery guy for Seth Rollins? Oh, it's Cody.
That's the problem right there, you know, and that's why I was pissed off about the Royal Rumble, because it just was too like there were no surprises.
Yeah,
it's too predictable.
That's not fun being a fan. It's actually fun to go into.
But I want to see fucking Cody win.
I do too. But I just feel like that's what makes wrestling exciting, because going into like the Sami and Roman match, we didn't know who was gonna win. We were all on the edge of our seat, like, yo, like this could go either way. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's what made it fun. You know, you could do that with Cody and still make him like prove himself, since I mean, again, he's been gone for a while. It wouldn't really hurt his momentum too much if he kind of lost here and then he got it by SummerSlam and he proved himself, because Sami's been like putting in the work this entire time and kind of picking up the show.
Right.
So would it be wrong? I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
You know what I want to see? And I remember like I was talking to like Toe and Gigi about this on Thursday, and it was like completely different people where like they wanted Bianca Belair to lose so she can chase after the title.
No.
And Mo made that face like, what? What do you mean? And you will get into that like another time. But, you know, I would love to see that they swerve us. Right? Cody doesn't win the title. You know what I mean? He's still continuing to chase it. Give it to Sami Zayn, right? Take that moment away from Cody Rhodes, because so far all his promos have been the same. I'm back to claim a title that my dad never got.
Right.
I'm here to get a spot that my dad never got.
Don't forget the crying face and lip bite.
Yeah. So what better way now than to like, you know what I'm saying? Like he's right there. You know what I mean? You see the brass ring and then boom, you get knocked out. You know what I mean? And now you have to go again and say to yourself, like, damn, what do I need to do to get back to that main event picture? Obviously, you're going to be there. You know what I mean? You lose once, you get knocked down, you get up, they're going to put you right back in the title picture. Right? Yeah. But imagine now.
But didn't him getting knocked down was having the fucking torn pec and 6 months of excruciating rehab? No. It was kind of like, hold on. So I ain't trying to interrupt, but I got something great. Now, now Kenny would remember this. Mo was too young. When Triple H...
Excuse you?
Hold on. Triple H... Wait. When Triple H tore his quad, remember this, Kenny, you know where I'm going. Triple H was a heel, right? He tore his quad, 9 months of fucking rehab. Was one of the greatest comeback stories ever, right? He came back, he was over as hell, he was a baby face, and he won the title when he came back. You know, they had all these promo videos, he's working out and fucking getting back in it, and you know, long road back to WWE or WWF at the time, and boom, he comes back, he wins, he's the fucking greatest thing ever, right? The story's gonna repeat with Cody. I'm telling you, this is how it's gonna go down. I get what you're saying, but think about it, right? He had those excruciating matches with Seth. I mean, these were fucking great matches. The last match, he went into it with a terrible injury, fought through it. It was fucking amazing. Boom, he's been rehabbing for X amount of months. He comes back, he wins the Rumble. Yes, I get what you're saying, that is predictable, but I've seen this story before. I've seen it before, and I've seen it with Triple H. So tell me why you think it's not going to go down that way again.
I think the way the WWE...
I stumped you, Kenny.
I think the way WWE does things now, they're not going to try and go that far back into the vault when it comes to try to play with like the WWE universe's emotions. You know what I mean? Because they play towards kids now. You know what I mean? They don't play towards the adults. WWE is not for adults anymore. WWE is mostly for like younger crowd kids who want to see the good guy win and see the bad guys lose. You know what I mean? Like I seen a video last night where the kid was in tears because Sami Zayn did not win the title last night.
Right.
You know what I mean? So imagine all the other kids in this crowd right now at Elimination Chamber that was crying for Sami Zayn. What do I see for Cody Rhodes? Like I said, I would love for him to continue chasing after this title. Don't make it so easy for him that you give him the title. So then what? You give Cody the title, he dethrones Roman Reigns. Who's next?
Everybody.
Who?
Anybody. What do you mean
Who?
who's next? Everybody and anybody. You could have so many. I mean, shit. Bobby Lashley. Maybe the Hurt Business. They've been teasing the Hurt Business. You got another heel faction.
Bobby
right?
Lashley's about to have a match with freaking with Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania.
Okay, but that's WrestleMania. Once after WrestleMania, it's like, think about it. It's like it's a whole new season, right? Like new feuds, new storylines. Right. Cody could go up against anybody. I think the possibilities are endless. Now that Roman's gone, you got so many guys. You got Bray Wyatt. You got Bobby Lashley, Kevin Owens, fucking, I don't know, Braun Strowman. I mean, there's so many guys you could throw at Cody that you haven't seen him go up against.
And you still have Sami Zayn, which that would be my I'm batting every single time for it, is that if you want to make WrestleMania big and you want people to like go back now and watch freaking WrestleMania Backlash that we're gonna get after WrestleMania,
right?
You give the title to Sami Zayn and you let them have a rematch at Backlash.
I don't know, man. I don't know. You're scaring me. I like Sammy. Don't get me wrong. I love fucking Sammy. Was I cheering for him yet last night? Yes. Did I think he was going to win? No, I did not.
If you're a hater, just say that.
I'm not a hater. I love Sammy. He's great. Mm-hmm. This storyline with the bloodline has been one of the most entertaining and intriguing stories in fucking I don't know how many years, right? But it's got to end though. The storyline has to end. It's been going on for a long time. You already see it with the Uso brothers not getting along.
Mm-hmm.
You throw Kevin Owens in as a monkey wrench. Will him and Sammy be buddies again? Will they just team up just so they could take the belts from the Usos? Right. I think Sammy in the main event picture, I think it's done. I think they're going to move on because you got to have build up to WrestleMania, right? The bloodline has to kick the shit out of Cody every week leading up to WrestleMania. Something. You gotta. There's been no real interaction between Cody and Roman. But now if the Sammy thing is put to bed, now you could focus on that. And you got 6 weeks till Mania.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I still see a triple threat match in that future.
All right. Well,
I'm a little over triple threats. Go ahead.
Let's move on. The men's elimination chamber. I mean, wow, right? People could say what they want about Austin Theory.
Mm-hmm.
The kid's got a bright future.
Mm-hmm.
Montez Ford, holy fuck, that was that dude's coming out party last night. Montez Ford, this guy he's gonna be huge. You know what I mean? You got to start looking at these younger talent. You know, the Intercontinental picture. Kenny, you're on mute, by the way.
I was answering a work call. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was like, I didn't know if you knew you're on mute.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Like you for multitasking, by the way.
What?
No, shout out to him for multitasking a podcast while at work. Impressive.
I'm not good at multitasking. I'm very.
No, I tried doing that at work. That shit sucks. When you get a phone call while you're in the middle of a point, yeah, no, it's crazy.
What do we think about Austin Theory retaining that belt? I think they should keep that belt on that guy for a long time.
I hate him, but go on.
What?
You know what? Before I even say anything, I love Mo's takes on everything so far.
Oh, Mo's great.
Mo's great. I love it. Austin Theory, cool guy. He's doing great as U.S. champ, but the real star of that match was Montez Ford.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And for him to be like the last 3 in the chamber only leads to me saying that they need to have Montez Ford versus Austin Theory at Elimination Chamber. I mean, Elimination Chamber, at WrestleMania. Yeah, at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like it's
I don't
only
know,
right.
but hold on. Gargano, actually, I've never been a big fan of his, but that dude fucking impressed me last night. Like
Right.
Johnny Gargano, that dude, he's the real deal, and you could have him in the mix.
Right.
I heard what Mo said, that she's over triple threats, but I think back in the day for like the heavyweight championship, world championship, whatever you want to call it, as of late with Roman as the champ, it's been a lot of one-on-one, right?
Mm-hmm.
But remember back in the day when The Rock, The Undertaker, Stone Cold, Kurt Angle, Triple H, like all these guys were going for the belt, right? They were all in the mix. It wasn't just a one-on-one. You'd have one-on-one matches, but
Right.
there's a lot of guys you could throw in the mix. And I think if you want to build up a title, which I think they're doing with the United States Championship with Austin Theory as the guy, you could have a lot of guys in the mix for that belt. They could really add some importance to that.
Right.
Well,
in my opinion.
let me just put an asterisk there about the triple threat comment. I don't hate triple threats. I hate the way they book the triple threats.
Right.
I think they did that with Roman just had a triple threat at Mania, not the last one, but the one with Edge and
Edge and Daniel Bryan. Mm-hmm.
And that was already like controversial. Like,
but that was 2 years ago. Think about that. That was 2.
I just know. I know that, but they like done this thing where they took important titles and just didn't know like who to choose at the time, so they just slapped a triple threat together. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, they were both, in my personal opinion, underwhelming. And I don't hate triple threats. It's just that it's kind of hard to book a triple threat. Like, I want to ask y'all this: what is the ideal triple threat formula? Is it supposed to be 2 heels and 1 face, or 2 faces, 1 heel? Because I feel like that plays a role in the match being interesting or not. And that's the problem. But I can't figure out which one's the better formula, because for some reason it's flopping hard every time they do a triple threat for a main title picture.
In my opinion, I think you got to have 1 really strong heel, 1 really strong baby face, and then someone kind of in the middle. You know what I mean?
Listen,
go ahead.
No, go.
I was just saying, like back in the day, and I think Kevin Owens might fit that bill now. He doesn't have to be a heel. He can be. Mm-hmm. He's over, but doesn't necessarily have to be a babyface. Back in the day, that was Stone Cold Steve Austin. Can you really say Stone Cold was a heel or a babyface? He was just fucking over, right? They did have a point where he teamed with Vince McMahon and he kind of became a heel when he turned on. He sided with Vince, or Vince helped him screw The Rock over at WrestleMania 17. I think they scrapped that pretty quickly.
Right.
Stone Cold's not really a good like traditional heel. So I don't know. That's my thoughts. You got to have guys that are kind of in the middle of the road. I think Kevin Owens fits that bill really good.
Well, when you have a tweener, you just become forgotten about, in my personal opinion, the match, because we know you're not winning. But what do you think about the formula, Kenny?
I think if you're going to have a triple threat match, obviously, I mean, it depends on, I guess, the story itself, where you can have 1 heel, 2 baby faces, or 2 heels, 1 baby face. You know what I mean? Like 2 triple threat matches that I love that come to mind were both WrestleMania matches, which, you know, when you had Randy Orton and Batista going up against Daniel Bryan, you know what I mean? He was a small guy going in against 2 bigger guys. They literally was like tag teaming him the whole entire match. He gets the better of them and he wins. The second triple threat match that I loved was Seth Rollins versus The Miz versus Finn Balor for the IC title at WrestleMania. Like all 3, there was only 1 heel in this match with 2 baby faces, with Seth being the baby face and Finn Balor being the baby face and The Miz being the heel.
Well, actually, that makes sense too, because I think it was Triple H and Shawn Michaels versus John Cena one time. Y'all remember that infamous like super kick in the beginning of the match?
Yep.
That was good shit too. See, stuff like that is what makes it exciting for me. But I feel like when you have 2 baby faces, it gets a little bit boring, because they're just gonna think, oh, let's team up and go fight the heel. You know, but that's not how it normally happens. They just do this weird thing too, where they focus on 2 people and then one person's awkwardly outside the ring for like a very suspicious amount of time, which pisses me off, because there's less storytelling to me. Because it's triple threat, I should see 3 bodies going at it. You could be outside the ring for like, you know, a minute max, but like get your ass in there and tell me a story, because then it gets boring, it gets flat. You know,
Right.
and that's just my issue with the triple threats lately. It's like if you're gonna do it right and do it in a way where it puts everybody over and not like this is just the third wheel, because that was my issue with the women's main event that they had in 2019 and having Roman versus Edge versus Daniel Bryan. It sounded good on paper, but the execution was just kind of like, I could have just took a one-on-one. Hello?
Oh wait. I'm sorry. Was there? I thought it sounded like you were still talking. So
No, I finished my point. It's just like normally y'all like cut me off.
Oh, hey, I don't cut off. What are you talking about?
I muted myself because there was like a fire truck that just came by and it's loud. So if I can hear it, you guys will probably hear it too.
Oh, I thought I was like, what am I hearing? So that's why I went like this. I thought it was one of my kids screaming, but
no.
I hear the fire truck.
That's
now.
crazy. Not your kids screaming. Why did your kids catch a stray like that?
I mean, Kenny knows on time. Kids just fucking start randomly screaming, right? They're fighting.
Like a fire truck to you though.
Well, I got headphones on and I couldn't figure out. I was like, what am I hearing? Like, I got my niece up here for the weekend, and my daughter and my niece are teenagers. And my son, he's 7. He wants to play with them, and they've been fighting because they don't want to entertain them. They're teenagers. They're doing their thing. And he's yesterday he was upset because his cousin is here visiting, and he didn't get to spend any time with her or play with her. So, yeah. Kenny, you got kids. You know how that shit goes.
Dad life, of course.
Right. But anyways, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting lead up to WrestleMania. I'm curious on how this will play out. Let's shift gears for a minute because there was some big news out of NJPW, and we're going to give the floor to Kenny, and Kenny's going to tell us all about that because I didn't watch it. I heard it. I heard what happened. I heard CM Punk was in the crowd.
Yeah, CM Punk was in the crowd to watch this pay-per-view, obviously, and Bailey was there as well, which like nobody really mentioned this. I don't know. I didn't see that much talk about it like on Twitter or like Instagram and stuff like that. But Battle in the Valley was last night as well. Interesting enough, like I know I spoke to a couple of people and they were like that they were waiting for the show, and I think that the promotion was waiting until Elimination Chamber finished. But obviously, like the main two things that people were mostly waiting for was Jay White and Eddie Kingston match because they, I think this was like Jay White's like last match with the company as he's moving on to whichever other promotion he's supposed to be moving on to. Rumors is he's like going to WWE. And then we wanted to see the women's title match where we actually get to see now Mercedes Moné, who was Sasha Banks in WWE. This is her first match back. So like people wanted to see whether or not like was there any ring rust. But if you follow her, like she's been training for like months. You know what I mean? So she's always been keeping up like with the maintenance as far as like in-ring like work is concerned. But it was good. It was a good match overall. I think like both ladies showed out last night and showed why they're very talented. Obviously, Mercedes paying tribute to Eddie Guerrero when she did the Three Amigos, and then she did a Bailey to Bailey, and paying tribute to Bailey, who was in the crowd, cheering her on and stuff like that. But we haven't seen her in a ring since May of last year.
What was your overall opinion? Like, does she look good, or
does she great.
Look like she still got some work?
No. She looked great. I don't like. You got to think about this. Sasha Banks is like the Tom Brady of the women's division and all around. When I say women's division, right. I'm talking about like AEW,
the whole world,
Impact, Stardom. Like if you're a major like company and like you have a women's division, Sasha Banks is that top star. You know what I mean? If she comes in,
right?
Yeah, and I don't even think that people were like trying to see if she has ring rust because I don't even think that's a thing for Sasha. I think what we were
everyone was bashing her because she fucking botched a move.
But she was in heels. Like what the fuck? You walk down have y'all walked down a ramp with heels on and then try to pick up a bitch and then fucking swing her into a DDT? Like y'all bugging. Like, and it was more like a timing issue. Like because Kyrie just I don't want to blame Kyrie entirely, but like it's a move where you have to both be in sync. Like you have to act at the same time, otherwise it looks stupid. And that's just what happened. And she was in heels. I mean, like I'm not
saying shit. I'm just, the internet is.
They all could go to hell. First of all, they all could go to hell. But what I think everyone was checking for was to see, can she convert into the Joshi style wrestling, because they wrestle differently over there. They will slap your shit up over there. Like they're stiff. They're very stiff. Their matches are a lot longer because in non-wrestling, in WWE, they give them like 2 to 10 minutes. You know, 10 minutes usually on a good day. They got, I think someone calculated it. I think it was 26 minutes they got. 22 or 26. It was between that range, which is a lot, because having in-ring cardio is crazy. You know what I mean? They wrestle very differently. They take a lot less breaks. It's very constant. You know what I mean? So I think that's what people really wanted to see. Could she keep up with the schedule? And she did. I thought she looked phenomenal. I like the look. I like the bob. I like how she is capable of creating a new character and coming into it. Of course, I still love the boss. Like I have an attachment to that. I have attachment to the old theme. But I like how she's taking this new gimmick, this whole new brand that's wrapped around her real name, and she's just rolling with it. Like if it's not sticking now, it's gonna stick soon, because we're gonna see her in this character, in this form. Almost dropped my phone. We're gonna see her in this character, in this form, wherever she goes, because that's the luxury of being in New Japan. I mean, they have connections with everyone, so I feel like with Mercedes doing what she's doing, we're gonna win regardless. Because we're gonna see her everywhere, not just New Japan. Expect to see her in AEW.
I disagree. She's not going to AEW.
She's not going to AEW. She'll make an appearance in AEW.
I don't think she'll even make an appearance there.
For the right.
I think she sees AEW as beneath her.
No.
Mercedes goes where the money's at. A. Let's start there. B. She's for women's wrestling in general. You know what I mean? Like, she's been wanting to go to Japan. This is a personal dream for her. But in general, she always wanted to change the game. And if she wants to change the game, she would not just wrestle in New Japan. She wouldn't just box herself in there. She already boxed herself in WWE. Why the fuck would she go somewhere else where she knows she has avenues to go elsewhere? Like,
I think she's going to be in other organizations, but I don't see her going to AEW at all.
No, she definitely will. She will work with Jade. We're going to see that.
Oh, no way. No fucking way. And I don't want to see that.
Why?
I don't want to see Sasha Banks get.
It's going to happen.
That's money. That's money right there.
You think of.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Teddy.
You think about it like this, right? One of the interviews that she did, Dad 316. One of the interviews that she did, she talked about Mickie James, right? Mickie James is a part of Impact. Right. She mentioned Impact in her interview, which was like, oh yeah, there's a woman in Impact named Mickie James that I want to see down the road. Impact takes anyone, right? So they're gonna work out a deal where Mercedes can go in and wrestle Mickie James, right? And you got to realize this too. Like, you don't want to see her in AEW. You don't think she's gonna go to AEW type of thing because it's like beneath her. But guess what? Tony Khan has the Forbidden Door pay-per-view.
I want to get rid of that fucking
He brings in New Japan stars. Who's a part of New Japan right now? Mercedes is.
They have a lot of other women too, though.
No, she's gonna go everywhere, bro.
I'm telling you.
I hope she doesn't go to AEW. There's not one woman in AEW that could fucking. They're just not even in the same atmosphere as her.
They don't got the same star power as her, and to be honest, really nobody at this point does.
I'm not even talking about star power. I'm talking about pure wrestling ability. The women.
No, that's a lie. Now you know that's a lie. Or you're either not watching, or that's a lie.
No, the women there suck. They fucking.
Serena Deeb has put on some pretty good matches, I must say.
No,
Serena Deeb.
The women in the women in
this
AEW.
Ain't 2005.
Or great. Willow would be interesting to see her work with. Willow's
actually very good. Willow is great. You know what I mean? You have Britt Baker, who's phenomenal. Okay, Jade.
She got her moments.
I guess that's just me. Jade has been improving match by match. Going in. She's been working with Bryan Danielson for the longest time, and so she's getting better, which I love.
Jamie is good when she don't hit people so hard.
Jamie Hayter. You have Chris Statlander when she comes back from her injury. You still have Ruby Soho, who's there. She's great too when you put her in matches that actually make sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
and if you say Soraya, I'm gonna fucking
no, I'm not.
Camera and
You
punch
missed me
Kenny.
with that, girl. What?
No. What's the name? Red Velvet is another one too. That like, if you put her in a right
Red
situation,
Velvet.
listen.
I got a like-hate relationship because she be trying to kill me.
I hate the way they book her in AEW, but I love how the matches that she puts on in indie promotions.
Can you imagine the T if they put like Kiera Hogan against Sasha?
I can see,
Dad,
you know what?
Dad 316? No fucking way, dude. No fucking way.
Why
Soraya,
not?
whatever the fuck she wants to call herself. Sasha Banks, I mean, oh God, no way.
Toni Storm is another one too, who's in AEW, who, you know.
Yeah, I think we only really got to see Sasha and Tony mix it up like one time, and I think that was during like Survivor Series. If I'm not mistaken, like we saw them like actually like go toe to toe with each other. But that would be nice to see. You know, the only thing that just sucks about AEW's women division is just that they lack character. You know, like Jade she came right in and everyone's just like, yeah, that's the girl. Like she may not be the best wrestler yet, but she's teachable, but that's your girl. She has the personality, she knows how to work a mic, she got the look. A lot of the other girls, I mean, it's kind of like one or the other.
All right, Dad 316 is really pissing me off.
Thunder Rosa.
Thunder fucking Rosa.
Thunder Rosa works when she wants to work.
Yeah.
I'll give her that.
Don't get me wrong, I love Thunder Rosa, but I think once she I don't know whether it was like Tony like gave her that hug and said like, I have faith in you, and she just took it and was just like, you know, when somebody says like don't gas their head up too much.
Yeah,
I think that's exactly what happened. Like Thunder Rosa was so humble, like I want to come in, I want to be champion, I want to work with the best, and then they gave her the opportunity, and it just went from there until they bring her back down to reality, and then she was just like, oh, okay, so this is what happens. Yeah, this is what happens. Sit your ass down in the corner and wait your turn again now.
Right. This is what happens when you give the title to somebody that has no mic skills, somebody has no personality, somebody has no fucking character. Somebody just comes out and she's a fucking caricature of fucking Mexican culture. Being Mexican, I don't need it thrown in my face every time somebody is Latino or this or that. It's like you gotta fucking separate yourself from that because white wrestlers don't do it, right? So there's an issue here when we're talking about race, especially in WWE, right? We already know that WWE has an issue with people of color fucking being champions. It's not a fucking secret, right? But that also, I need to turn off my mic for a minute because I'm so flustered.
Honestly, I don't blame them because I feel like wrestling kind of encourages this. I feel like they encourage this because I remember like when I went to wrestling school like a couple years ago because I had the bug and I wanted to wrestle and we had to do promos obviously like after we learned training and I'm only half Puerto Rican and they're like, oh, cut a promo about being Puerto Rican. I'm like, why is that the first thing that came to your mind? Like, why do I have to identify with that right away? Can I like bring something else to the table? You know what I mean? It's not that they said, oh, go ahead and do that, but it was just like, who said, okay, sorry, even Maria and yo, you're bugging. You're bugging. He wants to go up. Wait, what was going on with Tony over there?
He muted himself. He doesn't want to say anything.
That's so funny. That is so funny. But yeah, going back to my point, yeah, they did the same thing with me in regards of that. They're just like, oh, why don't you like use sexiness and talk about being like Puerto Rican and where you came from and stuff like that. And it's just like, why did you make that my range? But they do that a lot of the times when it comes to black wrestlers. They put them in a box and they usually say, okay, can you sing? Can you dance? Or can you act like a stereotype? You know what I'm saying? They do the same thing with the Latinos. And I feel like it's encouraged because they think that most wrestling fans are Caucasian or something. This is like what they understand and can consume. You know, it's expected. But I think it's bullshit. You know, I think
because when I look, fucking love Eddie Guerrero, right? But
Right.
when I go back and I watch some of his promos, it makes me very uncomfortable because I'm like, this is how people see us. And I'm like, I fucking hate it. I just, it really irks me to no end because we don't all talk like that. And we don't all, like, it just, I hate stereotypes. I hate fucking caricatures. I want to be taken seriously. Forget about my skin color. Forget about all this shit. It's like, go out and just fucking, just go do it. Right.
Right.
Like, I don't know. I have a really hard time with shit like that, stereotypes. And when they put it into wrestling, I get it at times, but at other times, I just don't want to fucking see it. I guess that's just my thought on
I
it.
mean, wrestling was very racist back then, like insanely racist. But at the same time,
I mean, it's like everything else. Fucking Hollywood, all of entertainment is all based. The origins is all fucking racist. It's all fucking sexist. It's all everything. You know what I'm saying?
it is. But I mean, I don't know. It's kind of weird because that's kind of what made Eddie so memorable. Like he obviously had like times in promos where he like wasn't a stereotype, but the most memorable times had to come from promos where he had to defend himself being Mexican. I mean, we all remember like the whole JBL thing.
Yeah.
that was really foul. It was really foul.
No, the whole Brock Lesnar thing with him, that was all like very uncomfortable.
They
And I
did
see
that with John
clips of
Cena
it.
too. John Cena cut a whole racist promo while he was in his Dr. Thugonomics thing on
Yeah.
him with like green cards and stuff like that. Like his whole entire beginning of his career was him defending being a Mexican. And they pulled that same thing in AEW in modern day. Like you could try to make the excuse of, oh, it was back in the day, everyone like wasn't so sensitive. They literally tried pulling the same shit with Thunder Rosa and Vicky Guerrero. And isn't Vicky, if I'm not mistaken, Mexican? Didn't you tell her to go like get a green card and go swim at her back or something back to Mexico? Or am I the only one that saw that promo?
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, and I can't speak for other Latinos, right?
Oh.
So being Mexican, it's a lot different than being Puerto Rican or being Colombian or Cuban or whatever, because many of us were born here, we grew up here, our families wanted us to be Americanized, right?
Yeah.
Like, but then you have the mix of cultures where you have immigrants still coming from Mexico, right? And then the Mexican Americans that grew up here look down on them. They look down on them because they see them as less than. And when you're an American with Mexican culture and heritage in your background, it's unfortunate, it is sad, but many of my people look down on them. You know what I mean? Like in my family, like my dad is a first generation American. His parents were migrants. They migrated from Mexico. My grandmother was 10 years old working in the fields for fucking 18 hours a day. Like, you know what I'm saying? The struggle is very different, but when you grow up here, it's a sense of entitlement. It's a sense of entitlement, and you feel like you're better than. And that's unfortunate, and it's very sad, and it's very wrong. And a lot of us, we try to navigate through those identities, right? So we're very different than a lot of other Latino culture. But I'm originally from Detroit, so I grew up with Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Colombians, Dominicans, all very different than Mexican culture. So I think there's just a lot of things wrapped around that. It just bothers me, and I really don't want to see it in my form of entertainment. Just like every time I watch a fucking TV show or a movie, a Mexican is portrayed as a fucking cholo or a thug or an essay or fucking landscaper, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just it's there's a
funny
lot
that
of
you mentioned that, because that's
there's a
the
lot
only
of
way.
fucking feelings there. What?
No, it's funny that you mentioned that, because I was thinking that exact thought to myself when it took Dominic being converted into a cholo that just got out of jail to be kind of like interesting to the fans. I was like, why did they do that? And why are we eating it up?
I'm not eating it
we
up.
are conditioned to the system, and it's kind of scary.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
We're perpetuating stereotypes and racism and bigotry, and we're perpetuating. It keeps getting perpetuated, and I'm just sick of it. I turn that off when it comes on my TV screen. So
yeah,
that's just me. Sorry, I took this off in the something else.
Do you
But
feel better now? Do you want a hug?
I'm good. I'm good.
I just feel like you have to get that off your chest or something.
It's all right. It's all right.
Oh,
We're getting deep on ATW All Things
I
Wrestling.
love it here.
Today,
See that.
right? Kenny, where are you? You're not
I'm
at home,
work.
huh?
No,
you're
I
at work.
told you I'm at work.
Did everyone fucking go home? Where's everybody at?
No, on the weekends is normally just me here or someone else. I'm covering for someone right now. They should be here in like another couple of minutes, and then I'm gonna roll out for the day and go home.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's gonna do it for our show today. Kenny, tell my audience, it's been a while since you've been on, brother. Tell everybody where to find you.
You can find me on Instagram at the Koala Podcast. If you have TikTok, you can find me on Conversations with Kenny.
Are you dancing on there?
No, there's no dancing. It's just mostly just sports and like funny videos, you know. And if you follow the Koala Podcast on YouTube, obviously you can find me there Mondays at 2 for Conversations with Kenny, which is just mostly just talks about different things throughout the week. And then at 7:30, I jump back on again to do trivia and Monday Night Raw for like 3.5 hours. And then Thursdays, I do the Wrestle with Knuckleheads with Toe and Gigi. You know, so yeah.
Busy.
A little bit. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you coming on today, man. Always great having you on. Mo told the entire internet to go to hell. If you're not following Mo on Twitter, you're missing out. So Kenny,
I was messed yesterday.
Mo be tweeting all day.
Mo was drinking Remy Martin while watching the show and was a mess. And did a Twitter space.
Yeah, I have Twitter, but I barely use I use it here and there. I just feel like Twitter, like unless people start following you all the time, you kind of just like tweeting stuff to yourself. Because when I tweet something and I look, there's like maybe like one heart like. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. There's no real conversation. So I feel like I'm just talking to myself. Like, that's cool.
It's like with Instagram. You just got to keep doing it.
Yeah.
Well, Mo, tell everybody where to find you.
Okay, well, y'all can find me on Instagram at That Is Just Mo. Sorry, not on Instagram. That's my Twitter. I keep forgetting that the is part is only for Twitter, and then you take out the is for Instagram. So that's just Mo for Instagram. That is just Mo for Twitter. And if you guys want to find me on my other podcast, there is Culture 316. If you want to check me out with Jordan, same thing for the Twitter, for the Instagram.
We got to get Jordan on here.
Jordan would be so fun on here. I would actually love that.
Yeah, we got to get Jordan on here. But hey, I'm your host, Tony Twist, joined by Miss Mo every Sunday, 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Excuse me. But that's going to do it for us today. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Kenny, always love having you on, man. Definitely got to come back soon. We got to get a bunch of folks on here just talking shit, fucking around. It's WrestleMania season, baby. We're 6 weeks away from WrestleMania. Get your popcorn ready. It's on. It's gonna get crazy. So I'm excited to see what's coming next. You guys have yourself a wonderful Sunday. We got one more comment. It's probably from Dad316. Yes. Thank you, Dad316. Appreciate the comments today. We'll see y'all next Sunday, and we out.